Good morning. Welcome to today's ad-free live stream. My name is Tyler. I'm super glad that you're here this morning. We're going to go ahead and get started here if you're here for the first time. I'm glad that you decided to join us. Sorry, my throat's a little groggy. I'm going to be helping navigate you through the wild world of day trading futures. I'm going to be sharing my daily trading bias here in a few minutes and then giving you a front row seat to all the action. Live trades, all the good stuff. If you're watching this after the fact, you can jump to the key moments using the chapter markers below this video where you'll find all the trades that I've taken along with what I was thinking and why. Lastly, if you're looking to take your trading to the next level and you want to use prop firm trading, you can use the code DTJ and you can get up to 90% off using that discount code. Using that discount code DTJ for Apex, it will give you a discount code of anywhere from 50 to 90% off. So you can go check that out this morning. And let's go ahead, open in prayer, and let's rock and roll. I'm tend to be a little disorganized probably over the next week because my wife is in Africa. I'm solo parenting with 3 children, running them all over town to their schools. Got 2 different school drop-offs, 3 different times I got to drop off at, and kind of just getting that all situated. So, Father, we just honor you this morning. We thank you for the opportunity we have as day traders to sit in front of our charts during this time. Father, we pray that you give us wisdom. Father, above gold and silver, we ask for wisdom. We ask for discernment. Your word says to seek wisdom above silver, above gold. So we ask for that wisdom and understanding of the markets. Help us, give us insight on what is happening in the market, and give us peace in our hearts that we would be patient and wait for those premium type setups. Father, we just honor you, and I pray and bless everyone that's a part of this stream in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, folks. With that, let's go ahead and rock and roll. Glad you're here this morning. Good morning, T-Lof, MR, Sean, good morning. Glad to have you guys this morning. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got going on here. This is ES. Let's go ahead and mark ES here real quick. We have already ran the previous day high right now, and we have our all-time highs for ES sitting right here. Our previous month high, that is all-time highs. I think that's definitely in the cards. We could see potential retracement down to this daily fair value gap though. So that is an option. We're going to include this volume imbalance there. So that is a daily fair value gap. And that's probably the extent of the ES that we're going to do. Let's go ahead and jump to NQ. Here we have NQ right here. So yesterday was a fake break day. It did not run the previous day high or low, which there's a 77% chance that it's going to do something like that. Today, we've already ran the previous day high. So I'm going to mark this previous day high here and leave the other previous day high as well. So we'll move the previous day low. We are much, it would require a much bigger move for us to reach all the way down here. And I think we probably will run this high here. ES did run both its high, so NQ is a little bit behind. And then we have this high right here that we will go ahead and mark as well. This is December 26th. This is just a buy side. Buy side liquidity, and I'm putting it as a green bar because it's on the daily time frame. Dropping down to the 4-hour here, we've wicked into this 4-hour fair value gap, so we could see higher prices from here. And we'll reach down to the we'll get down to the lower time frame here in a second. So we swept previous day high in the Asia session already. We have a London low sitting right here. London high has already been grabbed. New day opening gaps already tagged are sitting right here. And let's go ahead and mark our midnight open. And lastly, let's mark our opening range gap. Much smaller range, just at 25 handles right now, so pretty small comparatively. We've also already had news this morning at 8:30. I think we have news at 9:45 as well. So we'll probably be waiting on our trading until 9:45. Make sure I got my screen share up. That's all up and running. We do have low resistance liquidity sitting down here. As you can see right here, that low resistance liquidity, which looks nice. Could be for a nice move lower depending on if we get that momentum lower. But right now we have our previous day high here, the previous day high from, I believe it would be Wednesday. This is Wednesday's high, yeah. We're going to mark that. And then this is December 26th high. At a minimum, I want to see a sweep of liquidity here, and then I would be okay with a move lower. For us to look at the 930 model, I would want to see that. I would not be looking for the 930 model unless we sweep this liquidity up here. I take that back. We could do it based off of the previous day high here, but it's such a small range that it's going to be very subjective, I think, this morning. All right, we got about 5 minutes. I think I'm pretty much set up here. Let's say hi. Good morning, John, Wilhelm, Garlapati. Hey, good morning. You're in India. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for hanging out this morning. Ted, good morning. Smallest, I'm assuming you're talking to the opening range gap. Yeah, it's been a small, it's a small opening range gap, considering we have seen gigantic 200-point ranges. So that is what we got this morning. I think we run for the previous day high. So I'm looking at ES right now. And unless we sell off immediately, which we could because we've already hit the previous day high right now. I'm looking at previous day high right here. We've hit this previous day high. The likelihood that we run the high and the low, I only back tested the Nasdaq. I don't know if it's the same for the for ES or not. But assuming it has a lower probability of running the high and low, I can say that with confidence that there's a lower probability that we're going to run the high and the low. So with that in mind, we have all of this low resistance liquidity over here on ES that I like the way that's looking, that we could potentially run up for the all-time highs. Yeah, my brother's been trading the Asia session, Ted, and he's been enjoying it because there's been a lot of volatility, and it seems a little bit cleaner than the Asia or the New York session. But is what it is. All right. I think I'm open to the 930 model this morning. Main reason is we did hit the previous day high, but we need to make sure the opening range gap is large enough. And it may not be large enough. Love some nice equal highs. Yeah. A small opening range gap is conducive of poor price action, that at least according to ICT. I've seen very poor price action when we have large ones, so I don't know if that's as accurate as I would want it to be. Yeah, this is a beautiful breaker to the downside. That would be really nice. And considering these equal highs are really close, that's really hard for me to... I'm sorry, my throat is like equal. Sorry, those are equal highs, not lows. I will not be taking this. I will say, I've been 3 for 3 on when to take the 930 model so far. It's been great. So it just didn't look good. I apologize if you guys heard that. More equal highs, another set of small, relatively equal highs here. Don't like that when we got multiple sets. All right, today is Friday, and you can see we have 9:45 flash PMI and 10 a.m. home existing sales. So I think we more than likely are going to sit and not do anything till 9:45. Okay, I will not take a trade till 9:45 or till after it. And we may get that breaker there, Ted, and I'll probably pass on it. That looks really nice. That low resistance liquidity right there on the 15-minute. That looks beautiful. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to lie, that looks really nice. I may consider taking that depending on how clean it looks. It's kind of one of those you have to decide in the moment. But even if you don't take it, all I have to say is there will be another trade. And it could just go right up through this and attack these equal highs. That's my only concern. That's my concern with this. Nine seconds. It's looking real nice. Looks like it's going to run here. I am not in a trade. I am not in a trade. There's my screen. Not in a trade. Not in a trade. I really want to be in this. But I think there'll be something just as good later. Fortunately, we've had to wait for like an hour or two to get something decent. There would have been the target. 19 handles, 20 handles for that trade. Ted, you take that? Hey, 1 micro is better than no micros. No micros. ES is going the other direction right now. We got a big black candle on NQ. We got a big green candle on ES right now. There's still quite a ways for that. But if ES wants to keep going towards that, there will be a nice trade for this. All right, we got our first fair value gap here. If you're appreciating the commentary, guys, hit the like button for me. We'll try to get a on-screen trade here. We waited quite a while for the last one. I think that's appropriate when you have news coming right now. There's a lot of uncertainty coming up, knowing which way it's going to go. Now, I have a gut feeling that it's going to want to wick lower and then run higher. That would be my gut. As we do something like this, as we run here, run London lows, and then start running higher. A lot of low resistance liquidity here as well. If we don't run this low resistance liquidity here and we run the other way, we could see something like this. The market has been very difficult to read lately. Wow, got a whole 1 like from that request. There's a few more on here. If you don't mind, hit that like button, please. It helps. It helps. Thank you. Thank you. I had somebody on one of my videos comment. He said, "What does religion have to do with trading?" I was like, nothing. $15-minute looks very bullish. Let's look at the 30-minute here, hourly. And the 4-hour. With this 4-hour fair value gap right here tagged, I think we're going to see higher prices. Looking to see this breaker violated. That's crazy right there. All right, there's news. We just ran through the equal highs here and the equal highs here, filling the new week opening gap again. Let's see how this candle closes though. When you see how it violated this inversion immediately and then it went the other direction. When I get these immediate invalidations, it's almost telling me that it's trying to fake us out again to go higher. I've seen this a few times. Quite annoying, to be honest. ES still pushing higher. I'm going to delete this opening range gap because it's basically irrelevant to me. This news candle, the body's closed below the highs. I wouldn't say that's extremely bullish on a news candle, so. I was going to long on my eval, but the news scared you out. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Still sitting here waiting. There's also, guys, there's still news at 10 o'clock. There's still news at 10 o'clock. It's orange folder news, not as legit. But if we're not seeing clean price action in between 9:45 and 10, that could be the reason. I think I'm going to look at, unless we get a significant move lower, I think I'm going to target the Wednesday previous day high that is sitting around 22,093. Looking for that opportunity. If we can see some displacement here and we can come back down and find support at these equal highs or the previous day high, that might be an opportunity for a long. I've noticed over the years, I shouldn't say years. I've noticed over the last several months how I favor going short. I think I prefer taking shorts than taking longs. To me, the shorts are more exciting, more volatile, faster, bigger moves, while the bullish moves kind of creep up sometimes, take their time. All right, violation of this inversion right here after a swing high, after a round of equal highs and grabbing the data high here. ES looks like it's topping off. We'll see what happens here. This is the breaker. I'm going to take a small long right here. Let's see if it will give it to me. Okay. Got 10 handles out of that. I'm not going to go short until we hit this the Wednesday's high. I don't think I'm going to go short until that happens. And even if we get Wednesday's high, the 26th high is sitting right there. It's hard for me to want to go short when we're so close to that level. And if you were here on live stream, you should remember what happened to me last time I went short when these levels were here. Got slapped in the face. I don't want to get slapped in the face again. I'd rather miss a move than get slapped in the face. Yeah, December 26th is also the weekly high. The old weekly high. $9.30. We got 10 o'clock coming up here in a second. We'll see what the range is once we hit 10 o'clock. I mean, you could also do this manipulation leg and it probably runs based on the manipulation. Sitting right there, just above one standard deviation. You could probably do the bodies and it'd be more accurate. So one standard deviation, if you do the bodies of the candles from high to low, comes out to be Wednesday's high. One standard deviation. It's just so you guys can see what I have that anchored to. I have it anchored to this level right here. and this level right here. And that gives us one standard deviation, and it's overlapping with Wednesday's high. The low is overlapping with midnight open. So when I see that type of overlapping, I like this. So I'm going to wait and see if we get up here. The only way I think I'll go short is probably this 1 minute to the downside, violating this 1 minute, showing me that we want to move. I would treat this as an inversion to that low, to midnight open, and to 23's new day opening gap and London low. So we could run these, but I'm not interested in going short right now unless we actually violate this inversion, because there's too much upside pressure, in my opinion, to try to go short from up here. You guys have plans for the weekend? Anybody have plans for the weekend? My wife's out of the country, so it's just me and the boys. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Don't know. I think I might actually take them. We might go to the board game store, find a new board game, and play a new board game. Do you guys have any board game recommendations? Anything that's like great for, a 13, 10, and 9-year-old? We got quite a few, so I probably have some that you guys might already recommend, but I'm always open for a new cool board game. Look at the tag at 9:30 right here. I like that tag. Is there a 2-minute inversion? Is there a 30-second inversion? There's a 30-second inversion right here. If we close, I would say this top one here. A close above this. Probably run this high right here and that high. There's 10 o'clock right there. I mean, that looks really nice. No close, no close, no close. Alert, alert. What I mean is, don't take that. Don't take it because of the volatility. Recipe for disaster right there. And that's exactly what I mean by that. These types of candles right at news. Let's see if this fair value gap right here finds support. A wick down into here and then a push higher. Come on, there has to be some board game that you guys like to play. Am I talking to a group of people that doesn't like to have fun? Or maybe you like to have fun other ways. I don't know. This is what I'm looking at. I want to find support right here. Strat Ego. I haven't heard of it. That sounds fun. Ticket to Ride. I love that game. We play that quite a bit. You know what? We need to get we have the Europe version I probably should just get the United States version. I can never pronounce the European cities, and especially my kids. Google best game. Like, are you serious? Like, there's a game called Google. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Wick, green candle. That's interesting. Let's see what happens here. We're not doing anything to the downside. Honestly, just looking for that pop to go higher. If we can close above this, this might be a nice scalp if it will give it to us. No. Google. Oh, Google it. Okay, got it. I'm like, Google? I've never heard that board game before. I heard the search engine. Is it reaching for the volume imbalance? All right, let's get out of the 30-second. Yeah, we got there's the volume imbalance right there. Let's see if it wants to stay. There's that volume imbalance and fair value gap. ES just filled this a fair value gap. That's pretty significant. This one right here. We'll see if it wants to stay above that. Stratego. Thank you, Matt. Stratego. I'll check it out. We'll check it out today. I will for sure check it out, and I'll let you know. All right, looks like we're going to close below this volume imbalance, and I guess we will see if it really wants to go. If it's going to close below that fair value gap, I will treat that as an inversion. Did you just see that? It closed inside that fair value gap and volume imbalance. So it's not, the lower prices aren't set in stone yet. But I do like this 1 minute right here. This 1 minute is looking pretty nice to the upside. Right there. We swept this down close candle inside this fair value gap. This would give me enough permission to go long here towards these highs. $17 handles from $13 handles to that low. We are reacting to that breaker right here as well. I'm going to go long right here. I was hoping a push right there. Might not give it to us. I'm going to go ahead and get out. It's not moving as quickly as I wanted. I'm going to let it play out because technically I went based off of this breaker right here and this small sweep of liquidity. But I'm already green on the day and I don't want to risk half my profits. And it's not moving like I want it to. It's just not, it didn't, for 3 minutes it didn't go. If it gave me a little bit of move higher, I would have moved my stop to break even. But it's just not giving it to me. So I'll wait for something else. Yeah. Overall, good call. This isn't pretty. I mean, after 3 minutes, I'm just out. We drop. This looks nice. Here's where I'd want to see the expansion right now. If it's going to go higher, personally, for me to want to say I may want to participate in this, I would want to see it happen now. We just swept, filled this fair value gap, swept this low, still supported this fair value gap. If we're not going to do that, I need it to go the other direction. And if we close below it, I'm hesitant on taking a short even. I guess I shouldn't say it that way. If we close below this decisively, this is 13 handles right here. Midnight open from this low. Is 15 handles. I guess that it's not a bad move if we can get the momentum. Five-minute, if you take a look at the 5-minute right here, we did wick up into this 5-minute fair value gap. Sitting right here. This little candle, institutional order flow entry drill. Right there. So we could see an expansion lower. We got 50 seconds on this candle. So I would want it to happen in this next candle. We would need to see this close below. No close. And that was the 5-minute candle close. That was also the 15-minute candle close. $15-minute closed inside of this fair value gap still. So potentially a wick with a move back higher, maybe. Again, we're trying to come up with scenarios of what price could do because it's a little uncertain. I see higher prices and I see lower. I don't have a clear draw on liquidity. There's days that the draw on liquidity is just like super clear. I don't see it right now. Too low. It would need to come back up and tag up here before it pushes lower. Probably not going to get it. So yeah, there's the play. The close was just too low. It would only been... Oh, that's not even right. 8 handles, that's not enough for me. And 8 handles compared to my risk would have been 10. I guess it's not terrible. It's just too small of a move. I'm not going to take it. Now, if it gives me one of these, let's say it does want to run this low resistance liquidity sitting down here. If it wants to come up, test this inversion for a breaker, or this breaker, and then give me an inversion to the downside somewhere in here, I'll then take that for the lower prices. But I need to see it find resistance to, let's say, 930, or which 930 is overlapping with a breaker. It's not a clean breaker, but it would work. Yeah, I mean, it was the most inconvenient market maker sell model. Nothing looks clean here. Here's London low. We're probably going to run for that. I just don't see a nice entry for me to participate in this. I mean, we didn't even get back up into this fair value gap here. Just, it's a little sloppy, not as clean as I want, and that's why I'm kind of just sitting here, not doing anything. There will be a nice big trade that will give us a nice big move. I've been working on holding my trades longer. I will tell you that this small account challenge that I've been doing, if you aren't following me on X, check out X, where I'm posting all of my trades for the small account challenge. I'm looking at taking a $500 account, cash account, and turning it into $1,000, and then my goal would be from $1,000 to $2,000. But I have a lot of strict rules on how I'm doing it. And the main rule that is proving to be tougher than I expected. I knew it was going to be tough, but the rule is only one trade per day. And that has challenged me tremendously, because when I'm looking for a trade, sometimes you have those gut feelings of like, oh, this looks good. I think this might be worth it. And you put a tight stop loss and you try it out and you find out it works or it doesn't work. Well, with this challenge, I can't do that. I literally have to wait for the best of the best type setups. And that has been proving itself to be very difficult for me to wait for just that one trade without seeing something else that looks comparably good and taking a stab at it. That has proven itself to be very, very difficult. And I'm really glad that I'm doing it, because I know it's something that I have to exercise that muscle to become even better at. Because when I do, then I'm going to be able to see that throughout my trading, in all areas of my trading. So the 1 trade per day rule has, and I've been following it. We're on today will be day 7 of the challenge. And we are green on the account, but we're not green very much. We're only green like $30. So it definitely has been proving itself to be more difficult. So I definitely encourage you to follow along on that. Also, you can even try it out yourself if you want to try that the small account challenge on just taking 1 trade per day on a cash account to really challenge yourself to be disciplined in that area. And I know it's totally worth it for me. My primary accounts are my funded accounts, and then I have the cash account that I'm looking to build up, and I haven't really tried to build one. So this is me with very strict rules. I'm attempting to build a small account for that. Yeah, it's totally worth it, Lenu. Because it is. I don't care how successful you can be at funded accounts. There is always a risk that these go away. And if funded accounts go away, you're going to have to trade a personal account, and you're going to have to be able to prove to yourself you can do this anyway. So my philosophy on this is I better learn it now. Challenge myself now to build a cash account from nothing with very strict and mechanical rules, and prove to myself it's possible. And I know it is. I've done it on my funded accounts. I've taken a funded account that's been down $2,200, $2,300. I only have $200 left, and I've built it back up. I know I can do it. I'm just adding an additional rule of only 1 trade per day. That has been the kicker on this whole journey that is making it more difficult. But it's something that I know that I need to do it, because if I don't, I'm not proving to myself that I can wait for and identify those premium A++ type setups without taking another single trade. So that's the idea behind that challenge, is waiting for that great setup. Now, I would prefer that great setup to show up while I'm on stream with you guys, because I'm on my funded accounts, and that would make me a lot more money than doing 1 micro contract on my cash account. But if it doesn't show up here, then I'm waiting there, because I'm on stream for about 2 hours here, and then I jump over to my cash account after that. And I sit and wait. And to be honest, it has actually been a little more fruitful, because some of these really good trades have been in the PM session. There was 2 great breakers yesterday that happened in the PM session. One over lunch, I think, and one around 2 o'clock. And both were great setups that gave out 20, 30, 40 handles. I mean, all you have to do is go on Twitter and see everybody talk about how crappy price action is in the AM session lately. I don't want anything to do with this right now. It's not. We'll see what happens once we hit London low. We're currently sitting at midnight open right now. mean, it looks like it wants to drop. With all of this right here. And it's probably going to drop aggressively once it does. When it goes, it's probably going to go aggressively. 20 handles. I think that would be your entry right here. I'm not taking this. It's just too low already, and I just do like the signature and price of breaking below midnight open and coming up and tagging it. I just want to see if it plays out. TOC is correct. This is why I encourage people to start on demo and then go directly to an eval account with a funded firm. And I use Apex. You can use the code DTJ for that. But you got to be very careful. And part of my rules for my cash account is I'm only allowed to trade and risk 5% of my balance. So that's $25. That's a single micro right now. So that obviously it didn't work right there. So my risk on my cash account is $25. That's all I'm risking. Which makes it even more difficult because that's a 12 handle stop loss with one single micro. I'm looking at this fair value gap with these relatively equal highs. I'm also looking at this breaker right here. This down close candle. Very prominent. See, treated as a potential breaker. From this, it ran to the highs. There's a small little fair value gap right here. If we can find resistance at this breaker, at this fair value gap, and it leaves an inversion right here, I will play that inversion to the downside. So I'm not taking a short from this fair value gap. I'm not taking a short from the breaker because there's reason it could move higher. But if we do, in fact, find resistance at this breaker and fair value gap and this order block right here, and then aggressively moves lower, filling a inversion fair value gap like this one right here, I may be inclined to take that short. Unfortunately, we got a little bit of a gap down there, so we got to include that. So that's kind of that is the plan currently. If we break higher, like I said, I would be interested in taking this inversion to the upside, depending on time. It's 10:30 right now. I appreciate you, Ted, for saying that. I don't like taking trades at the half-hour mark. There's a lot of manipulation, and there's been times I've taken trades not paying attention to the time, and then it's 9:30 or 10:30. I'll take a trade at 9:30. That's our 9:30 model, but that's different. I've been through a couple of market halts, and then price opens 36 minutes later and skips over stops. TOC, that's totally. You will never see the Nasdaq halt. It's trading. Rarely. I mean, unless there's a catastrophic event. But if you're doing small caps, if you're doing, penny stock type trading, yeah, you're going to get that kind of stuff. Especially especially if there's been news related to a specific stock. You might get some of that as well. So I don't touch that stuff. To me, that's just too much risk. Why not 1030, Eva? 1030, if you look at 1030 candles, they tend to be, they have a little more volatility than the rest of the candles around it, and not all the time. And they can be manipulative. They could say, hey, I'm going this direction, and then change it. So for example, we have this candle right here. It's a big candle at 1030. Now the question is, was this manipulation? Does it want to go back lower, or is it going to continue? I've seen it manipulate and basically go, oh, I'm going higher, and then go lower again on the half-hour mark. It's not in all cases. So if I see a very nice setup, I'll take it, but I'd prefer not to. So right now I'm just watching this breaker right here. And I'm watching this small fair value gap right here. I haven't seen that. That's crazy, TOC. When was that flash crash? I feel like I remember that. To me, all of that's huge manipulation in the market. That just pisses me off so much. Because there's no way millions and millions of people all sell at the exact same time. Do you got something on that, TOC? Like an article that I bet you I could drop it into X. Guys, if you haven't used X, Grok, XAI is really, really nice. I mean, I use ChatGPT every day, but when I want like news related information and I want summaries of information from things that have happened, Grok is exceptional at giving you the context, giving you a summary of it, and giving you an understanding of some of complicated matters. It's really, really nice. It also has, I'm gonna show you guys because we're sitting here doing nothing. It also has this little feature on X. As you're scrolling through, you can see different things. Let's see, Bank of America, no comment. Why wonder? Let me give one here. Okay, so right here, Lance puts out a post about the RFK and JFK stuff. This little XI, it will explain this post. So Grok will explain this post to you. So it will take this and then it will look up web pages and then give you a summary of the post so you can get a deeper context of everything that's going on and why somebody's saying what they're saying. It's a great feature. So the reason I'm bringing this up is TOC is mentioning about everything that happened with the flash crash. Well, you can search that on X, or you can just ask Grok. Grok is their AI. It's Elon Musk's AI. It's like ChatGPT, and it's free. You can actually go to, I think it's XAI. XAI right here, and you can actually use it for free. And it's as powerful, if not more powerful, than ChatGPT. And you can do it all, and it's completely free right now. But it's also integrated into into the old Twitter. It's integrated into that, so you can actually get summaries of posts. You can get summaries of even TV shows. Even TV shows that have happened. I've had no idea what happened on a TV show, and people are talking about it. I'll just ask X to give me a summary of it, and it does. All right, so now price is moving. It didn't close below this volume imbalance, so that's why I wasn't interested in it. It did close below the fair value gap, but it didn't include this little volume imbalance right here, and it's why I kind of just kept talking and didn't really. I was waiting for it to close below that. So it gave us a little flash lower. We'll probably see the London low tagged right now. And it looks like we're probably getting a little bit of a sell-off here. We'll see. Came up pretty close to that breaker. It didn't quite hit the breaker that I wanted. I guess I didn't include the wick low. That's disappointing. You see that? Even on the 5-minute, looks nice from the bodies. High, low, higher, high. Broke lower, came up into it. Now we're referencing this fair value gap right here, this inversion. We want to see it find support right here and continue lower. This is not a bad place to potentially take a short. I just don't like how we grab this and we hit the new day opening gap low. It looks good though. But based on how price action has been going, I'm probably going to pass on this. If price action was looking good, I would be going short right here. But price action hasn't been very clean. So I'm not going to take this. But in normal circumstances, I'd be taking a short right here. See if we get a close below this candle here, confirming an order block. That would be more confirmation for a lower move. Also watching the midpoint of this wick. Yeah, coffee, that inversion, it just didn't quite give me, I wanted this closed below right there. It didn't give that to me. It did give me the close after it ran the low, so the trade's invalid. Wilhelm, have a great weekend, my friend. God bless. You guys just got to remember, that, okay, yes, all this ran lower, but you would have to, all this up and down price action is just annoying. Take a look at yesterday here. I took this short right here yesterday afternoon on my account. I ended up green about $300 per account yesterday. And this was one of the trades that I took, okay? This was another trade that I took, right? No, was this it? No, this is not. That's a PM session. Let's go over here. This was one of the trades that I took right here. I went short on that fair value gap to this low right here. And then I took half my position off, and then I got stopped out on the rest. I was hoping that it was going to run all the way down here. I also took a short right here off of this breaker. High, low, higher high. And traded it to there. So the price action, you can just, it looks a lot nicer. Look how less overlapping. It's not as overlapping. It still wasn't super clean, but it just wasn't as overlapping as we're seeing right now. And this just doesn't look as good. There will be a moment in today's trading that it will look that way most likely. It may not be while we're on stream, and I know that's what we want, but we shouldn't really try to go and make trades off of this unless you really want to exercise your discipline and have to emotionally handle the drawdown that happens. I mean, that could for sure be the silver bullet to the London lows. We're in the 11 a.m. macro now. I will say there's a lot of room to the downside for this candle here. If it doesn't want to run these highs. Because it doesn't have to run this low, but it could get all the way down here. And really, really expand this range lower. That's 100 points from where it's at right now. Wow. Look at that, guys. That's very intriguing. I'm looking at this, the first fair value gap, and I'm putting a fib tool over it. 4 standard deviations higher. It runs, this wick runs just below that. And then 4 standard deviations lower is the midnight open. The problem is I'm not sure how I'd want to use it yet because we're obviously hitting both. Yeah, I remember him mentioning that. That's why I was like, I wonder what this is going to do. But it doesn't do that for every opening range or for every first presented fair value gap, though. That's the problem that I'm having, is when to use it. I haven't figured out the appropriate times to use these things. So that's why it's cool. It looks great. It really communicates that there's an algorithm in play. I just haven't figured out how to use it in my benefit for capitalizing on trade setups. We're sitting right at this breaker for lower prices. High, low, higher, high. Low resistance liquidity right here. I just don't see my entry. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing we can do until something clicks. I mean, when it clicks, it clicks. That's the thing. These concepts, when it clicks, it's just like it becomes clear, and it's like you understand it. Right now, we're just basically going up and down, and I'm waiting for price to kind of tip its hand on where it wants to go. We have signatures in price that are saying lower prices here, but I'm not taking this inversion to the downside because we really didn't sweep any type of liquidity. It looks like it wants to go, but if I take a trade here, guys, it's just speculation. I'm speculating that it wants to run lower, and I want to eliminate that from my trading. What looks nice, though, is if we were to wick back up into this 15-minute. So we got a 15-minute fair value gap in the form of a SIBI that we haven't grabbed yet. So maybe if we get a 15-minute SIBI, find resistance there. We have this bearish order block as well. We have that breaker, 5-minute breaker sitting around there as well. That would be enough for my narrative to go lower. I just don't know if it's going to want to do that. I feel like I'm asking a lot for it to do that. We'll just wait and see what price wants to do here. That's the other thing, Ted. It makes charts extremely messy. They're extremely messy, and it's just, I mean, my charts are already full of stuff that kind of bothers it. For how much stuff's on my charts, it does bother me. So I'm constantly trying to get rid of stuff. So I'm looking at that board game Strategio, and it looks like we have played it in the past. I think we had the board game at once, but my kids were too young probably to be able to play it. That looks good. I think I would like that game with the boys. Yeah, I've noticed that too, Ted. I just haven't done the trading in the Asia session. I'm kind of stuck on the AM session just to make sure I'm being consistent. All right, so yeah, I could play risks too. I got 3 boys, so I want a game for 4 players at least. That would be the only thing. So my brother Ryan, he's been on here a few times. He loved Risk. He loved it so much he made a 4-foot by like 3-foot map of the world, and basically made a big Risk board on that, and we played on that. I think we played once or twice on it. Those games take forever, but it definitely was fun. I could do that again. That would be fun. All right, so here is 14 seconds till 11 o'clock. Let's see what happens with this candle here. I'm watching the mean, this level right here. Okay? So if we close below it, we come back up and reference the midpoint of this wick. That could be of interest towards the London low. TOC, see ya. Look how it's referencing the midpoint of this wick. So ICT talks about using these large wicks, treating them as fair value gaps. Wow, there's nothing happening here. Seven Wonders? I think I've seen that. Risk might be it. If we want to do a strategy game, they would like that. They would love to destroy each other. We played Monopoly for the first time with the boys over Christmas. First time they played it, everybody was crying. Oh, Monopoly is brutal. All right, I like this order block right off of the consequent encroachment of this wick. And I like if this closes below, I'd want to see it find support here. It closed right on it. I still want to wait. This looks, as far as order flow goes, this looks good. I would want to see it find, I would stop right here and just run for the lows. That's what I would want to see happen. Now, if you use 2 a.m. for your London low, then this would be your target, and your target hasn't been hit yet. I use 3 a.m. for my London lows. So this makes me not want to take this short right here. There we go. we should run. Let's see if it runs here. This is not a bad chase. If you were going to chase, this looks decent. There it is, and I'd get out right there. We're nowhere near London lows on ES. ES was already, London lows were already ran earlier. So I didn't take the trade, but we called it out. It looked nice. As far as order flow, we created this bearish order block. We closed below it. We also closed below the mean threshold of this wick. We referenced it, and I said this is where your short could be. We run the low. I also called out a quick chase scalp for this low right here, and that is basically all we've seen so far. Slapjack. Oh, we played plenty of slapjack. Those destroy my cards, though. I like to keep. We've been playing spades. I taught the boys how to play spades. But there's something about a board game that has all the different things that just makes it fun. This is a very slow day, guys. It's been this way all week. This, what is there, a 2-minute one here? 3-minute? All right, here's a 3-minute inversion. We're probably going to do it here. The 1 minute looks good as well. That we could take to this high. It looks really good. I'm going to just take that there. I think we're going to come back down here and then continue higher. Only thing that's looked good so far, and it went very quickly. Here's a breaker. Low, high, lower, low. Let's see if I find support right here. Yeah, it would have stopped me out. I'm glad I closed my trade. It was hesitating. Technically on the 5-minute, we have a 5-minute change in state of delivery right here that I want to wait. I would want to wait for an extended trade higher. We got 3 minutes left. I'll be right back, folks. I'm going to use the restroom. All right, so we got a minute left on the 5-minute candle. Let's see if it gives us a potential closes above. We got two fair value gaps down here. I want to see it probably come back and tag one of these. No close above this change in state of delivery. A little disappointed. There's a little bit of room here that we could actually move higher. I'm looking at this as a 1 minute change in state of delivery with a confirmation close above this inversion to these highs for my long, or a 2 minute close below this inversion to continue lower. I'm less interested in that because we've already ran the Linden lows. I like this idea of the long here. Still just waiting for more confirmation. Yeah, I'm not. I think I'm away from bearish price movement, boys. I think I am bullish. Give me a retracement down to this fair value gap, and I'm going to take a long. We love some equal highs right here. All right, I'm going to take a long here. And I'm going to go for 38 handles approximately. This is where the 230. That's the high of that 15-minute fair value gap. I might have to go a little bit lower to 19, maybe 20 handles. Somewhere around here. We'll see. I don't like that sweep of liquidity. Watching this order block right here. First TP is going to be at this high. It's also where there's a 15 or 5-minute breaker. 5-minute breaker, I would say. Want to see it push above these highs right now. If we roll over, I'll probably cut part of my trade off. But it looks like we're going to push through this. Lining this up right at this small fair value gap sitting right there. Oh, come on. I'm exercising patience. All right, I'm going to take 3 contracts there. That looks nice. Let's see if we can get an expansion through this. Okay, we just ran that high, so I sold a little early. Lesson learned. I probably need to figure out how to get my screen. Give me a second. I'm going to pull my chat off here. All right. I didn't know if you guys were still chatting or asking questions. So still going along on this trade here. I'm still looking at a move. I at least want to get up to this high. We're up 20 handles right now. We did just fill a 15-minute fair value gap. So we could see retracement from here. I'll set one stop loss at the low of this fair value gap. So I want to see if we find support here and then push higher again. I think that's reasonable to see a push higher from here. Okay, it did not quite close above the bodies. Let's see if this candle right here can wick higher. Hey, Matt. Have a great weekend. Take care. See if we can get we're seeing if we can get an extended move on this one. Right here, I just really want it to wick above the high of that down close candle. There we go. Get a little bit more. There you go. We should see some. We'll see if we can get an expansion higher right here. Nice full body close. Really like that. I want to see a breakaway gap right here. I want to see this fair value gap to stay unfilled. If it can stay unfilled, that also will be our measuring gap, our midpoint to the expansion. which means we could really see some higher prices. So now it tagged that fair value gap, which turns it into not a breakaway gap, but it could be an institutional order flow entry drill. We'll see if it wants to move higher from that point right there. Target is 38 handles right here. We did just fill the 15-minute fair value gap. But we got some swing highs sitting just not too far above that. So I'm hoping that we reach for those. This trade is copied on 7 different accounts, folks. So this is 7 accounts. So multiply that number by 7. New 15-minute candle. Yeah, we got that retracement. Now let's see if we can get that expansion candle. Nice expansion through those highs. Come on, give me a higher high. One more. Give me another push. We are at 11:48. So we are 10 minutes till the lunch macro. I'm forcing myself not to move my stop loss up. I really want to stretch my patience to let the trade breathe and play out. Give me a higher high. There we go. Let's keep going. Come on. Now let's see if we can get the body to close above all of these, above that consolidation. That's really what I want to see. I don't want to see the body close inside that consolidation. Right towards the high end. Really close to the target. Let's see if we can get a... See if we would just pop right through it. Nice full body candle there. See if we can push up. And not sell off. Come on, hit it. Come on. This isn't even my final target. I'll have one micro left after this. Or maybe I should just close it. We might stop to just underneath this. If it's going to run lower, it'll stop me out. Put it just beneath. Oh, I'm stopped out. Okay. There is that trade, folks. Just about 30 handles, 25, 30 handles on that trade. The slowest... Well, how long were we in there for? We got in at... Thank you, MG. Let's see, what did we get in at? We got in at 11:23. So about 30 minutes we sat in that. This is probably going to keep going higher. And I would be looking at this breaker right here for that. If it wanted to do something. But we are done on the day. We are up $461 per account. That is what I'm currently up. That's on 7 different accounts. So decent day. What a sell-off, huh? So we're going to call it a day here, folks. I'm going to get off. I'm going to be done. I will be back on Monday. Thanks for being here, guys. God bless. Stay safe, and we will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.